Okay, so if you're a musician, you know this feeling. Your instrument, it's not just a tool, right? It's like your partner, an extension of your own voice. But what happens when that voice starts to feel kind of muffled, or that connection just feels off? Well, today, we're going to dive into that super important relationship between you, your instrument, and the expert who can make it truly sing.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. Discover confidence in sound and happiness. I mean, that's exactly it. It's so much more than just hitting the right notes. It's about that feeling, that confidence, that pure joy you get when you create a sound you absolutely love. That's the real goal, isn't it? Doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you're a pro on a huge stage.
So let's talk about when that perfect sound feels just out of reach, you know? Sometimes your instrument has this incredible potential, this hidden voice that's just trapped, and it's usually because of these little issues we can't see or figure out ourselves. All of a sudden, playing feels less like a beautiful flow and more like a total fight.
So what exactly is it that silences that voice? What are those super frustrating problems that can take a practice session you were excited about and turn it into a real struggle? Come on, every string player has been there. You're just staring at your instrument thinking, why won't you just cooperate with me?
Well, some of the culprits are pretty obvious, right? Like you can see a crack, but a lot of them are way more sneaky. Take the sound post, for example. It's this tiny little wooden dowel inside your instrument, and people call it the soul for a reason. It's what carries the vibrations. If that thing is off by just a millimeter, literally 1 millimeter, your whole tone can go weak or sound really harsh. Same deal with the bridge height or the string tension. That stuff totally changes how the strings feel. And don't even get me started on the slow buildup of rosin and dirt. That gunk can literally choke the sound out of your instrument over time.
So, when you run into these problems, who's your hero? Who do you call? This is where the Luthier comes in. They are the expert guide in this story, the one person with the skills to figure out exactly what's wrong and, more importantly, bring that hidden voice back to life.
Now, just in case you're not familiar with the term, a luthier is an expert craftsperson who builds and repairs stringed instruments. Think of them as part engineer, part artist, and even part historian. It's this incredible mix of skills all focused on one thing, getting the absolute best sound out of your instrument. They're the ones who can take an instrument from just good to truly great. And this is so key. When a luthier says, as a professional musician myself, I understand, that's everything. It's about empathy. Because when they're a musician too, they don't just see a box of wood with some strings. They see your partner. They get it. They know firsthand how a properly set up instrument can make or break your performance.
So what actually happens during a professional setup? It's this incredibly meticulous process. A luthier looks at everything. They're going to set the bridge height just for you and your playing style. They'll carefully tweak that all-important sound post. They'll calibrate the string tension. It's all these tiny, precise adjustments that have to work together in perfect harmony to unlock your instrument's true potential.
And it goes way beyond just the setup. The services can be huge. We're talking everything from a deep clean to get rid of all that gunk that's dulling the sound, to fixing little scratches, all the way up to major restorations that can bring a vintage instrument completely back to life.
All right, so what does all this expert work really mean for you, the musician? It means taking that instrument from the workshop and knowing it's ready to perform at its absolute best. It doesn't matter if it's in your practice room, a studio, or on a huge concert hall stage. It's going to be ready. And listen to this. This is a real testimonial that just says it all. Its craftsmanship is impeccable, and it produces a rich, warm tone. This viola has quickly become my go-to instrument. Wow, I mean, go-to instrument, that's the dream, right? That's the ultimate goal. You want your instrument to be that reliable partner that makes you want to play.
And that's where you see the real results. That exceptional craftsmanship, it's not just about looking good. It's what creates those rich, resonant tones. And when the sound is better, the instrument becomes easier to play, more responsive to every little thing you do. It all adds up to a totally different, top-tier musical experience.
Of course, once you get your instrument to that peak level, you gotta maintain it. The right accessories are absolutely essential. We're talking about high-quality rosin that gives you the perfect grip, a great set of strings, a well-balanced bow. These are the tools that support all that expert work and keep your instrument sounding amazing between visits to the luthier.
But you know, for a really great luthier, it goes so much deeper than just the physical work. It's about seeing the instrument as more than just wood and strings. It's really a vessel for history, for science, and for art, all in one.
And that passion, that deep curiosity, is really what separates a technician from a true artist. It's someone who's fascinated by music history, who thinks about someone like Paganini in his very first lessons, and they're also into the science of it all, like using tree ring dating to figure out the actual age and story of the wood. How cool is that?
Ultimately, it all boils down to this amazing idea from the legendary Itzhak Perlman. Music is the language of the spirit. And that's what a luthier does. Their work isn't just technical. They're caretakers. They're enabling that language of the spirit to be spoken as clearly and as beautifully as possible through your instrument.
So, think about it. Every single instrument has its own unique voice, its own story that's just waiting to be told. A luthier's job is simply to clear the path, to get rid of all the little things getting in the way so that story can finally be heard. So the final question is really for you. Are you ready to listen?